Hi, my dear Astro family. So today we are going to be talking about the aspect of the week, and I chose Venus because Venus is actually going to be definitely the star of the show. It's making four major aspects this week. It's going to be making a trine to Uranus, a opposition to Neptune, and it's going to be making a trine to Pluto as well. So this is very important because Venus is making actually aspect to every single outer planet. And in the middle, we just have got a small sextile to Pallas Athene as well. So of course, this Venus is highly important. Venus was pretty prominent last week as well. Obviously, it was bringing together the square between Jupiter and Saturn also, and therefore we had a grand cross forming in the sky. And actually, Venus will be quite important the following week as well, because it's going to be making a conjunction to South Node and Black Moon Lilith as well. But we're going to talk about that next week. Now, let me just make a quick announcement. I am making a family constellation astrological webinar series starting on the 2nd of October, I believe. And I'm going to be talking to you about how to see through your chart, family trauma, what you bring into this incarnation through your family lineage. And most importantly, we're going to talk about some healing modalities as well. This course might be able to help you heal some of your karmic purpose. So if you are interested, check it out on my website, AstroViktor.com. And as usual, I will be breaking down this for the 12 signs as well, how the astrological week might be playing out for you. So if you are interested, please check out my YouTube membership program, and then you will be receiving additional 10 videos a month. So let's get started with this quite potent astrological configuration because it is even giving us a quite an interesting star shape as well on the sky. So this is quite a rare combination, as I said. Therefore, it could be very potent, and it surely highlights relationship topics quite significantly for everyone. Venus, as I said, will also have a lot to say the following weeks as well, due to making a conjunction to South Node and a conjunction to Black Moon Lilith as well. But what is happening exactly? So, Venus is making a trine to Uranus in the sign of Taurus, then opposing Neptune the following day, and then changes sign and runs into Pluto with a trine immediately. So this is all happening within 3 days, 28th, 29th, and 30th of August. On the same day, when it is in trine to Uranus, it will also has a sextile to Pallas Athene as well. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there is actually an envelope configuration in the sky. And I don't think we have pretty much spoken about the envelope configuration before on this channel. So I decided to kind of focus on that a little bit. It might be helping certain people with their chart interpretation. So the participants, as you will be able to see on the chart, it's Pluto, Pallas Athene, Venus, Uranus, and Neptune. So these five planets are creating a so-called envelope. And let's talk about this envelope a little bit, what it actually means. So some people tend to be looking at this as a Mercury and Jupiter kind of conjunction type of astrological pattern. Basically, an envelope is a mystic rectangle with additional two sextiles. And of course, Venus is the only personal planet here. So we're going to have to explore a little bit the meaning of Venus. But before we do that, So what is this envelope? So some people actually call the envelope a Mercury and Jupiter combination aspect pattern. So basically, we've got a mystic rectangle with additional mini grand trine on top of it. Just think about what is an envelope. Writing a letter. So we have got something to say, something to listen to, something to learn about, something to educate ourselves on. And because Venus is the only personal planet here, the topics are going to be about love, self-love, and money. Maybe something with the envelope, because you can also think about it as sending an invitation to someone. So the envelope configuration could talk to us about social life, but at the same time, rumor, how gossip spreads as well. Pretty much as kind of like how fast we travel from one place to another. So of course, the envelope, as you can see, between those five planetary energies, we have got oppositions here as well. And the opposition always represents something that is out of balance in our life. So now we've got the sextiles that are giving us certain type of opportunity to play with and maybe to come to terms with these out of balance energies. So we need to be able to kind of like focus on them a little bit, in a playful way. So the envelope contains actually a grand trine, and the grand trine is formed between Uranus, Venus, and Pluto. We've got two oppositions happening, and one is between Uranus and Pallas Athene, and we have got one between Venus and Neptune, and then you can see actually four sextiles. So Venus in sextile to Pallas, Pallas is in sextile to Pluto, Pluto is in sextile to Neptune, and then Neptune is in sextile to Uranus. Now, this configuration, let's say that it's going to be somehow lasting till about the 3rd of September. So what is Venus actually? Let's explore some of the Venus topics. This is how you relate to others. This is the representation of your desires, self-worth, self-esteem, what you love, what you like doing. This is also the planet of artistic expressions. And it loves beauty and harmony. It wants appreciation. It wants validation from others. But also it represents fashion, sweets as well. So the love of chocolate and all those type of stuff. It represents shapes, colors, and forms. And often we need to be able to make um, compromises. So when you look at this Venus at the beginning of the week, it's still in Virgo, which is actually a poorly placement for Venus. But what is Virgo? Virgo is about fixing, maintaining something. So we want to be maintaining our beauty. We want to be making certain type of changes when it comes to our beauty and harmony, and to a certain extent, our environment as well. This is kind of like being in the 6th house, Virgo. So that is connected to routine, health habits, the day-to-day environment that we are in. Therefore, it brings in the element of employment and work. So these might be some of the topics that are connected here. But of course, Venus is the primary focus, has got the primary focus of partnerships of any kind. So business or personal partnerships. Therefore, it can talk to you about certain type of contractual agreements as well. So I pretty much feel like that the fact that Venus is making this trine to Uranus to start with, this is giving you the opportunity to or this is giving you kind of like a boost to do something around these topics in your life. So imagine that this is a financial opportunity, for example. Definitely Uranus in the sign of Taurus wants you to get out of your comfort zone. It wants you to be upgrading something in your life. So maybe it wants to kind of push you to have that edge to start something fresh in your life when it comes to love life, when it comes to creating that peace and harmony, as well as something to do with the way how you make your own money. And the trine could be a representation of certain type of opportunities. Now, of course, we see that on the very same day, Uranus is also making an opposition to Pallas Athene as well. And now that's very interesting because Pallas Athene is all about strategy. And Uranus is the planet of change. So in a way, this is surely asking us that we need to be able to change our tactics. We need to be able to change um, how we look at certain type of things. In a way, we need to be able to upgrade our strategy because something hasn't been working around that, typically around the love life, the money, and so forth, the way how we live on a day-to-day basis. You know, Venus in Virgo could be sometimes a little bit difficult because Venus is about pleasure and Virgo is about work. So how are we going to be bringing the two together? And that could be extremely important. So there is an element of need here to bring together your needs to, or the desires to be unapologetically, you know, that fun person as well, a work and life balance, let's just call it that way. So with Uranus and Pallas Athene, it really feels like that you need to be getting out of that, sometimes in that intelligent mindset, because Pallas Athene is all about intelligence. It's a creative problem solving, and we need to be using certain ways to solve, to tackle an issue that we haven't tried it yet. This is telling us to seek new and unconventional ways to solve certain type of problems in our life. Uranus is quite revolutionary. It's a visionary type of energy. And we've got this opposition to Pallas, which is about a tension. So it is somehow urges us to think outside of the box. This is also about kind of like challenging the status quo. So I feel like Kamala will be attacked quite a lot this week, but you know, we're gonna be approaching this from a individualist point of view. And because Venus is in the sign of Virgo, this is something to do with looking at your routines. What is that norm that you are used to? And why are you used to that norm? Because that norm shouldn't be your norm. Basically, that's what it's trying to tell you. This is telling you that you can break chains from certain type of habits. You can break away from any type of, you know, let's say you want to be giving up smoking. You can walk away from a certain type of relationship that might not be fixable. Remember that Venus in Virgo wants to fix a relationship. And with that Uranus, we're meant to be exploring new territories. It's kind of like conquering you know, an uncharted island, for example. And then once we have got that adventure, the real problem here is that straight away, Venus is running into an opposition to Neptune. So let's just try to put a story here together because this might be able to help you understand. So we've got the themes around relationship, creativity, finances, and Uranus and Pallas Athene is actually optimizing these. So it gives you the ability to make certain type of financial, to be more confident about investment, for example. And then we run into Neptune. And Neptune is very much about uncertainty. So imagine that you send the money to a company about an investment, and all of a sudden you start being afraid. What if I made a mistake? Should I have done that? Maybe it is coming with an element of a regret here that I shouldn't have done it. And then somehow, once this opposition kind of finished with Neptune, which is, by the way, going to be happening on 29 degree, then after Venus changes sign and then it runs into Pluto. And Pluto is pretty much a little bit empowering here, um, empowering Venus that everything is going to be okay. You might have made, a bad choice, but no problem. We're going to be sorting that out. So what it pretty much feels like, obviously Venus is in the sign of Virgo. So that's something to do with I mean, these are generational planets, so it's going to bring certain type of challenges, surely, certain type of relationship issues. But it can feel like that, but I've got so much to do. For example, in this relationship, I have to be taking care of others. I feel like I'm a slave to someone. It can feel like that I cannot create balance and harmony anymore in my relationship because I have to pick up the kids, I have to clean, I have to cook, and I have to even please my husband as well. And it's just not working. So, and then where does that Neptune leads us? Certain type of disillusionment. You realize that maybe you make too many sacrifices in your life. And then you can kind of want to give up on it. And you're going to be like, you know what? I don't want to fix this anymore. And that's the 29 degree. I'm so keen on starting a new chapter in my life. So therefore, we have got Venus and Neptune, we release Venusian topics in our lives. And maybe we release a partner. Maybe we just simply give up on self-love. We give up on financial opportunities. We give up on sweets. We give up on things that we truly love, even though the opportunity is laying right in front of us. But then Venus runs into Pluto. And that is already in the sign of Libra. As soon as Venus moves into the sign of Libra, it's making a trine to Pluto as well. So again, we feel somehow empowered that, you know what, we can actually improve our relationships. We just need to feel empowered by others, or we need to be able to empower our partner as well. It's about a kind of a hectic beginning of the week, and then somehow we feel that we can restore balance and harmony in our life. Also, I would like to mention that at the beginning of the week, though, Mercury is retrograde, and that is important because that's the dispositor of Venus, and Mercury is in the sign of Leo. So it could also feel like that you are thinking about yourself a little bit more, or it could feel like that you might want to slow down a little bit because Mercury is about to go stationary, which means that making a quick decision, we might regret that later on. So this is somehow also that Venus-Neptune opposition. Venus and Uranus is giving you that push to make a very quick decision about your love life, financial opportunities, and so forth. But we run into Neptune, so we might get disappointed. This dispositor of Venus, Mercury being stationary, also tells you that you're going to have to slow down the way how you express yourself, the way you think about fun and parties and romance and connections with others. You might be thinking about, okay, you know what, new things into my life. I want to have new things. But maybe this Mercury retrograde is still talking to you about that you haven't even fixed. previous things in your life. So you might still want to be just slowing down before you jump into something new. Also, very interesting that Uranus is about to go stationary. I mean, actually, it's stationary as well. It's going to be stationary half of September, actually. So even it would feel like that I'm trying to upgrade something, but everything is just so slow. It's kind of like your computer freezes, and then there is that agitation there, and I cannot do anything. I'm trying to switch it on. I'm trying to power my laptop on, and then it's just not working. And I need it badly to be able to make money. Obviously, that's the Venusian element in your chart. So obviously, Uranus being in the second sign from Aries. So this is so much to do with sometimes irritations around money and investment, but also security matters as well. I don't feel secure in my own skin. And so there is a lot of trying to fix something in our lives. There is a lot of excitement going on, but at the same time, we are afraid of actually initiating something because what if we run into um, certain type of kind of scam, for example. Obviously, Venus is quite a creative energy, and Neptune in Pisces is quite creative as well at the same time. So this could really talk to you about with an opposition that your creative inspiration can put you into certain type of trouble as well. The dreamy quality, the Prince Charming is on the way. And then, wow, it just came out of the blue and it must be karmic and so forth. So Venus in the sign of Virgo needs to remain a little bit clear-headed. And Mercury being stationary in this particular chart is surely talking about mental clarity as well. So important. But the final aspect of it is Pluto, which is actually the Lord of wealth. So it is eventually boosting certain type of, love story, financial story in your life. And I don't think it's going to be that quick though, because even though Uranus would like to speed things up, but this is a stationary Uranus. So it feels like it's not moving anywhere. Also, how I can imagine is that, for example, someone says that there is going to be a great investment opportunity, and tomorrow it's going to jump significantly because of this and that. And actually, it's not jumping as much as we kind of thought. So that's also actually a possibility. The other thing, I mean, there is a lot going on actually this week. So, I would be able to talk about this forever, I feel like. But we still have got the Venus and the Mars square in play as well, even though it's already separating, but we still have it quite in a play. They are just 4 degrees apart. So obviously, probably we spoke about this last week, or it was for the Patreons, but obviously Mars is trying to push us forward. It's trying to kind of accomplish something, while Venus is looking at all these little details. So Uranus might try to get Venus out of this situation. Like, we don't need to be getting stuck with the little details, for example, because we are going to be, in a way, again, getting stuck in that old way of thinking. So that's also quite interesting here, I would say. And but the good news is Venus is ready to move into the sign of Libra, which is not always a good one though. It can actually emphasize certain type of trouble. It can feel like that, you know what, I'm not ready to make negotiations. I'm not gonna be ready to create certain type of peace, especially with that Pluto and still Mars being in the picture as well. I mean, Mercury is going direct on the 28th of August. And that, Mercury has been retrograde since 5th of August, and it started its retrogression on 4 degree of Virgo. So this is very much about delays. You might have experienced certain type of delays, for example. This was both the Mercury retrograde and the Mercury mid-cycle was highlighting a new moon and the full moon as well at the same time. So I would say that even we're going to have a Virgo new moon coming up on the 2nd of September. So this Mercury is going to be very important still. And this is bringing together your Virgo and Leo cusp of your chart. So, and I feel like Mercury going retrograde and the new moon happening in the sign of Virgo pretty much on 11 degree. But I'm going to make a video about that separately, of course. This is telling you that you're going to have to review your habits. You're going to have to approach your love life, your connections, your friendships, how you approach fun and work at the same time. All these type of things still needs to be reviewed. So Venus is extremely busy this week around. So I would say that good luck and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.